It is time now for the Sweetheart Program, brought to you today by Hereford Feed Ingredients.
Mr. and Mrs. James Brown are celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary this year. Diane Wilson, daughter of Bay and Gladys Wilson, married James Brown, son of Dee and Dorothy Brown, on July the 8th, 1966, at the Northside Church of Christ here in Muleshoe. The pastor of the church, Frank Duckworth, conducted the wedding ceremony. At that time, James was a student at West Texas State University in Canyon, and Diane had just graduated from Muleshoe High School that spring. James graduated from Lasbury High School in 1962. Diane was born here in Muleshoe January the 9th, 1948, and delivered by the late Dr. L.T. Green. She had 9 brothers and sisters: Neil, Glenn, Marita, Nelda, Joe, Gordon, Stanley, Roger, Jan, Mickey, and Kathy. Stanley and Kathy Wilson still live right here in Muleshoe today. James Brown was born in Clovis on May the 5th, 1944, and he had one brother, Mac, who died in 2010. Diane and James first dated when she was a sophomore at MHS and he was a sophomore at WT. They made their first home after they married in Canyon, where he was going to school. After he graduated from college, they moved to Wellington, where James worked for the ASCS, and their daughter, Courtney, was born there on September the 28th, 1967. Courtney now lives in Bainbridge Island, Washington. After living 1 year at Wellington, they were transferred to Crosbyton with the ASCS office, and their second daughter, Jana, was born on March the 15th, 1969, just 2 weeks after they moved to Crosbyton. Jana died last year on August the 31st. Her husband, Scott Finke, and her children live in Spring, Texas. After living in Crosbyton, the family moved to Stratford, where Dee Brown had some land. That's James's father. And James grew millet there. Diane remembers it was so cold there in that area of the panhandle of Texas at Stratford, and James worked extremely hard. So in 1970, they were thrilled to come back home to the family farm in Muleshoe area and have lived here ever since. Debbie was born September the 26th, 1970, here in Muleshoe, their third daughter. James had always said he wanted 5 sons, but he was more than happy to have 3 beautiful daughters. Debbie is now Debbie Schultz and lives in Pflugerville. James and Diane Brown have 9 grandchildren. All of their 3 daughters went to school here in Muleshoe and all graduated from Muleshoe High School. James and Diane are members of the Muleshoe Church of Christ. James was a member of the board of Cotton Incorporated for 15 years, and they were privileged to travel all over the United States, attending some 60 gatherings for that group. James has also been on the boards of Plains Cotton Growers, Muleshoe Cooperative Gin, and Blackwater Ag. Diane worked part-time at Dale Oil Company for 26 years. She retired July the 31st, 2002. The remembrance of that day is sad because that was the day her brother Gordon Wilson died. Dianne always was very faithful to attend all three of her daughters' many school activities, and the Dales were always so kind to see that she could do that. When she was 15 years of age, she had babysat for Glenda and Gary Dale's children. And when working for Mike Dale, she would laugh and remind him, "I can still whip you, Mike." She also sells Mary Kay Cosmetics. James has recently had shoulder surgery. After their children were grown, James and Dianne Brown moved to town in 2009. We honor you on your 50th year of married life, Mr. and Mrs. James Brown. God bless you and your entire family. You are being recognized as our sweethearts for today through the courtesy of Hereford Feed Ingredients, David and Liz Tips.
The Sweetheart program has been brought to you today by Hereford Feed Ingredients. You can find it on Reach Broadband Channel 6 in our rotation. Also, muleshoetv.com on our website. Click on the Sweetheart link at the top of the page. If you'd like to nominate someone to be our sweetheart here on Reach Broadband Channel 6, muleshoetv.com. Call 806-272-3990. We need a short biography and a picture.